Joseph kept working faithfully, just as he always had. Each morning he woke up and chose to do what was right. He spoke with honesty. He treated people kindly. He worked with careful hands and a gentle heart. Even when no one was watching, Joseph remembered that God was watching, and that was enough for him. He didn't know what the day would bring. He only knew what kind of person he wanted to be. Joseph tried to honor God in small choices, in the way he spoke, in the way he listened, in the way he turned away from wrong, even when doing right felt hard. But one day, something very unfair happened. Someone told a lie about Joseph. Not a small lie, not a silly misunderstanding, a serious lie. A lie that twisted the truth and made Joseph look guilty when he was not. A lie that others believed without asking Joseph what really happened. Joseph didn't get a chance to explain. He didn't get a chance to defend himself. The lie spread quickly, and before Joseph could understand what was happening, his life changed again. Strong hands led him away. Heavy doors opened. Then they closed. The sound echoed loudly, then faded into silence. Joseph was in prison. The air inside felt cool and still. The walls were made of hard stone, rough beneath his fingertips. Light slipped in through small openings, but it was dim and quiet, like evening that never fully became night or day. Joseph sat down slowly, his heart pounding. He had tried so hard to do the right thing, so why was he here? For a while, Joseph felt very quiet inside, like a song that had suddenly stopped playing. His thoughts moved slowly. His chest felt heavy. He stared at the stone floor and wondered if God could see him here. Then, like a small flame flickering in the dark, Joseph remembered something important. God had been with him in the pit when his brothers had hurt him and left him alone. God had been with him in Egypt when he was far from home and everything felt new and frightening. So God would be with him here too. God had not changed. Joseph took a deep breath. He bowed his head and spoke in a soft whisper, so quiet it barely echoed off the stone walls. God, he said, I don't understand what's happening. I don't know why this has happened to me, but I know you are still good. Please stay close to me. And God did. Days passed, then more days. Prison was not an easy place. It was noisy at times, silent at others. It was uncomfortable. It was not where Joseph wanted to be. But Joseph chose, again and again, to stay faithful. He helped others when he could. He listened when someone needed to talk. He shared kind words, even when his own heart felt tired. He worked carefully, doing each task the best he could. Joseph did not let bitterness grow inside him. He did not let anger take over his thoughts. When sadness came, he brought it to God. When fear whispered to him in the night, he remembered that God was near. Slowly, people began to notice. They noticed that Joseph was steady and calm. They noticed that he could be trusted. They noticed that he did not complain, even though he had every reason to. The one in charge of the prison watched Joseph closely. He saw how Joseph handled responsibility. He saw how Joseph treated others with fairness and care. And soon, Joseph was given responsibilities there, too. Not because prison was a happy place, but because God's presence can fill even the darkest rooms. Joseph's life did not suddenly become easy. The stone walls were still there. The doors were still locked. But something warm and steady lived inside him. Hope. Sometimes, doing the right thing doesn't bring quick rewards. Sometimes, it feels like no one notices your kindness or your honesty. Sometimes, it feels like you are forgotten. But God never forgets. God sees every choice made in love. He sees every tear. He hears every whispered prayer spoken in the dark. God's love is not limited by circumstances. It does not depend on comfort or success. It does not disappear when things go wrong. God's love shines quietly, like a small lamp in a dark room, steady and sure. One night, after a long day, Joseph lay down on a thin, hard mat. His body was tired. His thoughts were slow. He closed his eyes and imagined God's hand resting gently on his shoulder. Not heavy, not frightening, just warm and steady. Joseph breathed in slowly, then out again, and he slept. Sleep softly now, dear one. If you ever feel like life is unfair, remember Joseph behind those prison walls. Remember that even when the doors closed, God stayed. Even when the light was dim, God's love did not fade. If you ever feel alone, know this: God is with you too. In the happy places and the hard ones. In the bright days and the quiet nights. God loves you in the light and in the dark. He holds your story gently, even when you cannot see where it is going. Rest now. Be brave. Be at peace. God is near, and He will not let you go. Good night.